Sorry, Greg.
That's all good.
Oh, you know what? It's live. Yeah.
Well, hello, everybody. Hey, what's going on? It is the debut of Gnyp Gnop. I'm Greg Gnyp. He's Chris Uszynski, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk. We're going to talk about things, and it's all about our opinions on stuff and music. We'll talk about food. We're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about Twinkies, and we're going to talk about who knows what, right? Anything is fair game. If it's food, if it's politics, you know what? Here's the way I'm going to describe it to everybody right now. After 30 years of corporate radio and always having to make sure that I never offended the boss or the corporate sponsors, here's the nice thing. I don't really have any corporate sponsors right now. So the only person I'm going to probably offend is myself. Chris, how are you, my friend?
I'm going to get really good in a second.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, so before we start anything off, we got to say thank you to GL Heritage because they are keeping me well hydrated today. Of course, I'm going to be doing their IPA because, well, that's what I like to do. That's my 3D thing. And our friends at Hag Customs, they're going to be doing our wearables and our swag.
Very nice, very nice. And I've decided to go with, for years in the running business at RunningFlat, we've had great sponsors at Pelee Island Wineries, which is the largest independent winery, believe it or not, in Canada. And they have this great product called Lola. Nero is actually what it's called. It's effervescent, it's bubbly, but it's red.
I like to call it fizzy.
And it's really freaking good.
It's fizzy.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for joining us for lunch, by the way.
Well, that is the thing. So a lot of people have been asking me, well, what exactly is this all about, and why are we doing it together? And I said,
what is it all about?
Well, if you think about it, you and I have been friends for roughly 30 years.
30, I think it's like 33. It's
33. 33 years. So so basically, this show is this. I've got a big porch on my front yard, on my house, and I like to sit on it and discuss the world. But I'm also the guy that will go, get off my lawn, and I'll yell at kids as well. So, that's basically what we're going to do. Is there's going to be a lot of times where we're going to, talk about things and discuss things, and maybe, yell at each other. You never know.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. I mean, we've done this literally for 30 years together, and just never had the chance to do it somewhat amateurishly, professionally like this. Because a lot of the things that we really hung out a lot together in the early days of university. We actually had CUG. We had a production company where we promoted bands. Remember that? We did Shuffle Demons, Spy versus Spy, Messenger, 5440. We did a lot of neat stuff together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did all that kind of fun stuff. We did 54-4. Yeah, that's right. In Chalk Circle, Grapes of Wrath. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. So I've been involved in the music industry since 1984. I mean, I got into it because of the good folks at the at Faces on College, the Martinellos. They gave me a chance at DJing there on Thursday nights. I would bring in my 7-inch vinyl and my records, and they trusted me. And then so from 1984 and till I got let go last year in 2020, I've been kind of doing the whole music thing. So it's been kind of a weird ride.
Yeah, and I met my wife at Faces on College, by the way.
Yeah, I believe you met your wife over one of their very famous Long Island iced teas.
Yeah. No, we were just drinking shots.
Yeah. Well, skip the middleman and just go right to the alcohol.
Right to shots. Straight to shots.
Yeah. See, so I feel like I have a little bit of a bond with you in the whole concept of why you guys are together and still happily in love. How many years now?
Yes, 26.
26 years. Wow, that's crazy.
Maybe 27. Wow. Sorry.
Yeah, you might want to get that correct.
Yeah, I was drinking. You saw me.
Yeah.
I can't do math when I drink.
No, and that's the thing, right? I mean, I think back to those days, and it's like, and it's funny because people have asked me over the last couple of days, like the last couple of months, do I miss doing radio? And I said, kind of, in a weird way, I do right now, because I miss some of the creativity, but I don't miss the corporate aspect of it, where you've got to, if you don't say the exact tag the exact way, somebody might call you from London and say, it was supposed to be, is it, not is it.
But I think what most people don't know about radio today is you don't choose any of the music. No. And you have very, very little control of what you play. And matter of fact, if you want to play something that you really want to play, you could get disciplined for it.
Well, and that was the thing, right? Now, back in the old days, right? I go back to 89X to 1990, right? From the very beginning. Now, when we first started, we really did get to, I was working with David DeRoche, the D-Man, and our overnight show was truly like college radio. We were told you had to play the A's, which were the main, the big songs, the B's, and then the C's. And that was a total of 5 songs out of the hour. The rest of the time, it was play whatever you want, as much as you want. If you don't want to play it. So we would just drop songs, add songs, play songs. We got to be we got to add in stuff like Rage Against the Machine before anybody else played it.
Right.
And it was, and it was fun. It was that. Now, like you said, it's kind of, and it's funny because sometimes people will say, I really like the music you play more than, say, Susan plays. And I'm like,
well, screw Susan.
I'm like, well, that was the one thing I'd always say. And that's what I always said. I'd go, well, yeah, she's kind of a bitch. But, but I'd be like, in my head, I'd be like, it's the same songs. You're just thinking it's a little bit different. And, so that's the thing about radio right now. It's there are still some radio stations out there that get to do that. They're still a little bit more free form. But I mean, all in all, it's become a corporate world.
But 89X was truly revolutionary in the area, just like a decade before it, WLBS, right out of Detroit, with Tinsley and Halloran and company.
Yeah. But you know what? But I think 89X actually even took it one step further than what WLBS did, because LBS was stuck still battling it. And when we got there, music was in a doldrum. There it was. And I mean, this area especially was ready for something new. And I mean, when we came on and said, hey, we're going to play the Sex Pistols, Jane's Addiction, Funboy 3, and Depeche Mode all in the first hour, people just kind of, it was like, wow. It's like, I'm going to cry. I'm so happy. And I mean, people did. I mean, I remember people lining up at Lollapalooza just to shake our hands and be like, you've changed our lives. And it was crazy.
Right.
It was crazy fun to, like that kind of a thing. And,
because before that, all you had was college radio, frankly.
Yep.
Because LBS ended very, very abruptly. College radio really took off, especially because college radio broke REM. They broke some of the largest acts in the world, U2. It was all through the college radio network. And, you and I both worked at CJAM for a lot of years through University of Windsor and had a great time through those years.
Well, college radio. And then the other thing that, I mean, as much as, I love it. CBC in Canada. And, the other one is, you've got great people like Ann DeLisi at WDET over there. And I mean, you know what? Ann, in some of the shows she has put on the radio, I mean, there's been times where I'm like, where the hell did she find this artist?
Right.
That is absolutely incredible.
Yes. Fluffy white clouds.
So that's the kind of the history of us, going back to doing things like that. Now you've done a lot of the, you're big in the running game.
Yeah. So,
and that's not where we met because my idea of running is to the kitchen or the bathroom.
Right. So, kind of briefly, some of the stuff that we did together was we had a little production company, you and I, back in the early 90s. And then I was the manager of the Tea Party for a bit, like as our first kind of inaugural manager. And then I handed him off to an old buddy of mine, Michael White. Now, the funny story about Michael White is him and Kay own a company now that manages Blue Rodeo. But what they ended up doing was I was at Michael's house begging him to take the tea party over. And I brought my girlfriend, my wife, to-be wife at that time, up to Michael's house. And on his mantle was this massive diamond, like just this massive crystal diamond with a black setting on it. And I'd never seen one of these before ever in my life, because one has actually never been done before that time. He was managing a number of artists, and that was a platinum million sellers in Canada.
Nice.
Now, do you imagine who that would be back in the early 90s? Song Black Velvet.
Oh, Lana Miles.
That's right. Yep.
See, I was hoping it was Gowan, and
Yeah.
I was hoping it was Gowan.
Oh, you're such a strange animal.
That's right.
Yes.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I consider myself I consider like myself really lucky with all the things I've done. You know, I was the dorky kid in grade school, the guy who absolutely hated high school and couldn't be more excited the minute I found out I was never going to have to walk into high school again and go to university, to all of a sudden, you know, be on stage, at the DTE Energy Music Theater, or introduce the Detroit Red Wings at the Joe Louis Arena, going from there. And so I've considered myself, and that's why, people have asked me about, the laying off of, the river and 89X back in November, and they asked if I'd been angry about it. And I said, honestly, I mean, you're going to be angry. I mean, it happens. I mean, it's not like I was like, God, I hope I get fired today. but the thing is, I can't be angry, because for 30 years, I've had a great ride. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You playing basketball. I said one of my first events I ever did was something at Lollapalooza, and I played horse with Perry Farrell behind the curtain.
Did he win?
I don't remember.
That's right.
Because I was so nervous I was having to go on stage that actually kept me occupied. But so I mean, one of the things we have to talk about though is sad news yesterday.
Yes.
Right? There's sad news. Anybody who's probably 40 and up will probably feel a little pang of sadness here. But Lou Ottens, the inventor of the audio cassette tape, passed away.
Hard to believe, eh? I mean, to leave such an indelible mark on society, even though it was short-lived, right? It was that temporary piece of analog, quasi going to digital, type of medium. It changed a lot of people's lives. It really did.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest. Everybody made that significant other at least one cassette. It's like, honey, I love you so much. These are all the songs that mean the most to me. It took me 17 hours and I love you so much.
Andreas Vollenweider. Yes.
I got into trouble. with a girlfriend because she was going in for minor surgery. And it was, I mean, and I understand that all surgery is serious, but in the grand scheme of things, this was minor surgery. And I thought it would be really funny to put the Smiths' Girlfriend in a Coma on both sides. It was, I think I put 14 versions of it on each side,
right? Because
it was only 2 minutes, and so
that's like buying your girlfriend a gym membership.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. So so needless to say, she's my ex-girlfriend. We finally made up, and things are good. Thank you for asking. But but the thing is, kids nowadays, like I love Spotify, I love iTunes. But nobody knows the joy of the pencil and the tightening of this. It's the there it is.
Scrolling it, yeah.
Oh, so you have a classic.
Oh
there.
Yeah. So and honestly, I think this is my wife's. It's 9 Inch Nails, right? And it's Pretty Hate Machine original cassette. And I was pretty stoked when I found it. See, Pretty Hate Machine, pretty cool. So I opened it up. It's the Dusk.
Wow.
So it's not even the right cassette in the in its case. So yeah, it's the Dusk.
Well, which is still a great thing.
Oh, it's still a great album.
I mean,
Matt Johnson.
It's not like you're going, that's a lateral move side to side. That's definitely not, you're not going down, going to the album.
Kind of devalue that relic a bit.
Yeah. See, I got rid of, I have to be honest, when I moved from South Windsor to downtown, I got rid of a lot of my cassettes. And I actually sold them off to somebody because I had the first, I think I sold off a copy of Rage Against the Machine's debut album where it's typed on a typewriter where it says Rage Against the Machine. It was a promo copy.
Oh,
so,
right. Yeah.
I gave it away. I mean, what was I going to do with it? It wasn't like I was going to listen to it again on cassette. But now I kind of wish I had a cassette deck and I could find cassettes again. Yeah.
I actually have a cassette I'm trying to transfer right now to digital. And I went and found my old Walkman. And when I opened up the battery compartment, it just kind of dissolved.
Oh, yeah. That's not, yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm looking for a tape deck so I can actually transfer it over.
So if anybody has a tape deck,
right.
please go to Gnyp Gnop, our Facebook page. Now, the thing is that I loved about cassettes, though, and this is the one thing, and Lou Ottens, and I wish he had, may he rest in peace, but I wish he had figured out how to do this. I was dating a beautiful girl. I love her. She's still one of my best friends. And we talked about this a little while ago, and she said, do you remember the time we were driving to Meadowbrook to go and see 10,000 Maniacs? So, I had just gotten the new album. They were touring on one of the albums. It was given to me through the record company. I put the cassette in, and I still remember we're driving there, and it was beautiful. The top was down, and Natalie Merchant is singing, and you hear, "Candy, everybody wants you." And it's like, I went, oh, no. And, of course, the tape gets eaten.
Yeah.
Then the only way you can fix it is if you pull over to the side of the road and then you're pulling out tape like this. So instead we just drove the whole way, and she's like, well, it sounded like it was going to be a good album.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I'm sorry, honey.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about the show and where the show's actually going to go and what it actually looks like.
In circles.
Yes. There's actually a format to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is just the first one, but there is a format to the show, and I hope you all brought your lunch.
So, I mean, basically the way the show's going to go is we're going to be it goes back to the whole idea. No topic is off the rails. We're going to be talking about, we're going to bring guests in.
Yes.
We're going to bring in musicians, politicians, people who own cool stores. And, and we're going to, one of the big things we're going to know about them is what's their favorite lunch.
That's right.
What's your favorite lunch?
You know what? Leftovers, to be honest. Leftovers and sandwiches. I think those are the greatest things that you always overcook, and you always have, oh, look, a hamburger. It's always a surprise.
I can see that. You? I have to be honest, my favorite lunch in the world are nachos. I love a big plate of nachos for lunch, but not at like 12 noon. I'm talking like 1 o'clock, 1:30. You have a little bit of a later lunch, and there you go. You just feast on nachos.
Hang on a sec, Greg. Can is there a noise in the background? Hang on.
Oh yeah, that's the dueling dogs.
What the hell was that?
Well, right now I've got the 3 dogs. I've got Elliot on one side of me. I've got Primrose on the other side. They're snoring, and Pearl's underneath the desk.
Scared, I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah, this is the way I live my life, is with snoring dogs all the time.
Going, what is that noise? That squeaky noise.
Well, it made for fun radio, though, during the pandemic, right? There'd be those times, people would send me a message, which dog was that while you were doing your break? And I'm like, that's Elliot. He's got sleep apnea.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone loves your dogs.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they're all right. I'm going to keep them for a while. I mean, I always joke that that's one of the best things that I got out of my whole marriage was learning about these dogs and getting them and having them.
Yeah. So really over the next while, as the show matures, you're right. We have a number of people lined up who are famous people or people who do really, really cool things. They're going to join us for lunch and join us for a drink and kind of talk about what they've been doing. And we have lots of friends in California and on the West Coast and all over actually all over North America, because, as RunningFlat, we've done work, from Montreal all the way down to Los Angeles. So we've been really, really busy, and looking forward to doing the show. Really, really, really happy that we can finally, after 33 or whatever years of bitching about this, that we can actually get together and do it.
Well, and that's and actually, last night a friend of mine actually said, "Hey, if you'd like, you could talk to me about our next performance in Reykjavik, Iceland."
Yikes! So
I'm like, hey, not only will we talk about Reykjavik, Iceland, maybe we'll have to go there one day and shoot the show there off of an iceberg.
Yikes! What's that dish that they have that's really
harkal?
That's it.
Harkal, the rotting shark. It's delicious. Here's the way you've had a cat.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The best way to describe harkal is this way. If you haven't cleaned the litter box in 3 days and you get that strong ammonia smell, that's their dish.
No thanks.
Yep. I even brought some home. From when I went to Reykjavik, and I force fed that to my sister, my brother-in-law, and because I'm like, well, this is what we did there. We all tried it.
Yes.
Yep. So, right. Well, there you go. So listen, you know what? We did a short one today, just kind of an introduction to what we're going to be doing. It's Chris. I'm looking forward to many, Cheers, more brother. Fun episodes. You have been my friend for 33 years, and I love you, brother.
I'm looking
forward to a lot more. And to everybody who watched, hey, listen, we promise you it's going to be exciting. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll have some surprises for you, but we just wanted to introduce ourselves and, say welcome to Gnyp Gnop.
Welcome, everybody. Feedback, like us, send it to all your friends. I don't know, do whatever you can.
And if you want, remember, don't forget Spotify, Google Play. What else is there?
So thanks to our friends at GL Heritage and the awesome printers at Hag Customs for the love, Gnyp Gnop, and we'll have wearables and swag available coming out in the next couple of weeks. As a portion of the proceeds will go to charity. We'll see you next week.